Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 417, Southland Tales from 2006. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too, and this episode is brought to you by Get the Let Out. Get the Let Out is a group of professional musicians who are passionate about their love of the music of Led Zeppelin. Check out Get the Let Out for all your Led Zeppelin covers.
Well, shout out to Get the Let Out, and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. With us tonight to talk about Southland Tales, a movie I saw a couple years ago, and said, well, we need to do this on the show immediately.
Yeah.
But it needs to fall into the thing that, a reasonable time to cover it, because it does star, and I would say star, The Rock, in his first film as Dwayne Johnson. This is the movie he dropped the moniker for. He is Dwayne. He is not The Rock.
Okay.
With us tonight to talk about Southland Tales, a fan of the movie from I don't know how long, for a long time. He had been telling me to watch it for forever. The resident historian, Mike Manzi. Hello, Mike.
Hello, Joes. Yeah, it'll be almost 20 years since this movie came out.
Did you see this in theaters, or when was the first time you saw it? Because I will say, as a spoiler alert for coming up, I don't think anybody saw this in theaters.
I wish I was able to. You have no idea, Joey, how hard I tried to hunt this movie down. But it was one of those movies that just didn't play anywhere,
Oh, was it?
Got a very minor release in New York and Los Angeles for like a weekend or two, from my understanding, and it didn't play anywhere in the multiplexes. I don't think at the time they were going to touch anything like this, but I mean, surprisingly, it's a star-stacked, studded cast. You would think that this would at least play like the multiplex for a week or two, but no, I did not have the chance. No, I wish, but I will say, I had a pirated bootleg DVD that I watched like almost every day at the time, because I was just like enamored by this film.
So this movie has since been put out by Arrow Video. There are two different versions of it. One has both the theatrical cut, I guess they call it theatrical cut, the shorter cut, and then the can cut. And I will go into a little bit of a detail. I didn't look up the differences, but I know sort of the big, broad differences between the two. There is one Arrow Video release that has both of them on there, but I think the more common one to get, unfortunately, is just the one with this one. So we watched the theatrical, we watched the shorter one, so that's out there, but I think the way to watch this is just see both. Like, more of this, maybe sometimes the better, but we'll get to that in a second. So here's the synopsis for Southland Tales.
I'm ready for this. I'm going to strap in, because I want to hear what the fuck they try to say this movie is.
Boil this
movie
shit down.
Rentable, but not streamable for free anywhere. During a 3-day heat wave, just before a huge 4th of July celebration, which I want to say, this is our July pit stop, accidentally put in the summer. Did not remember this, but seasonally appropriate.
Very.
An action star stricken with amnesia meets up with a porn star who is developing her own reality TV project, and a policeman who holds the key to a vast conspiracy, which overall I think is a pretty fair kind of summary of what this is.
Yeah, that's a nice elevator pitch.
Written and directed by Richard Kelly. Joe, is that a name you recognize?
No. Who's
this
Richard
guy
Kelly?
Made before this, the only movie he had made was Donnie Darko.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then after this, he did a movie called The Box.
And that's it, right?
And that's it.
I've heard of The Box, but I've never seen it.
According to Letterboxd, The Box.
Oh, I actually have a question. Hold on. Sorry. Mike Manzi, do you remember The Box that was on TV that was like the original TV station that you could get like over like the air, and then you'd pay like $1 and they would play a music video, but they wouldn't tell you when it was coming on. So you just there was a giant queue of music videos, and you'd pay like 99 cents over the phone, and it would just play music videos all day. Do you remember this?
Sounds vaguely familiar. Sounds like I've seen a commercial for that.
That's cool.
It was really, really cool. We used to watch that on our friends' houses, like when we had sleepovers and they didn't have like cable. It's a great way to just like listen to music.
It wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't stray a bit. I just got to ask you, Joe, as far as the sponsor's concerned, ever hear of Dread Zeppelin, the premier Led Zeppelin reggae
Joe is too
band,
young for that. He's not a fit guy in his 50s.
Fronted by an Elvis
Bang.
impersonator.
Oh, that's fun. No, I've never heard of Dread Zeppelin.
Okay, back to the show.
So Richard Kelly also wrote Domino, the Keira Knightley action movie from the 2000s. Apparently, I did not know that. He also has on Letterboxd a movie that is going into production this fall, supposedly. So we might get a fourth Richard Kelly movie. I don't know. Produced by Sean McKittrick, who has produced Get Out, Donnie Darko, Us, Black Klansman. So kind of the Jordan Peele guy, but also Black Klansman.
Yeah.
produced by Bo Hyde, who only did this, Kendall Morgan only did this, and Matthew Rhodes, who did movies like Cherry, The Voices, and Dark Places, which all I've got to say is yikes, because those are not good movies. Shot by Stephen Poster, who also did Donnie Darko and Rocky V, the worst Rocky, and Daddy Daycare. Budget of $17 million, made $374,000 at the box office.
Oh,
41% on Rotten Tomatoes, 41% by the audience, 44% on Metacritic. Right. The consensus: Southland Tales, while offering an intriguing vision of the future, remains frustratingly incoherent and unpolished. Do you have an issue with my Rocky V as the worst Rocky?
No, I can't believe that this was under $20 million. Like this thing looks incredible.
I'm with you, Mike.
This thing looks
I thought the budget was way higher than that.
All of his
also,
movies look
I do
amazing.
want to apologize to Rocky V. Rocky Balboa exists, but keep going.
No, you don't have to apologize, though. They're both bad.
Richard Kelly sends the people who are organizing the 2006 Cannes Film Festival this movie on DVD. He's like, here's a rough cut. He assumed they were going to hate it. And they're like, we love this. We want to screen it.
Oh, wow.
He did not have the time or the money to finish it, though. So he sends them a 160-minute, which is about 15 minutes longer than this one. And they're like, it's going to compete for the Palme d'Or, like the grand prize.
Yeah.
We love this. So he's like, I can't edit it anymore. I can't finish the production. I can't finish the visual effects. I'm sending it as is.
So he sends them a half-baked version.
I think more like probably 75%, like probably pretty close.
Fair.
But
Like a test
close.
screening. It's probably like test work print.
it averages a 1.1 out of 5. It is the worst reviewed film at Cannes that year. The negative reaction, he says, was, quote, a very painful experience on a lot of levels, but he said ultimately the finished film was, quote, better off because of it. Universal, before it screens at Cannes, has the rights to distribute this film. After the reception, they then sell to Sony, and Sony was like, hey, we'll give you some more money to finish the movie, like finish the effects and stuff, if you edit it some more. And so he edits it down to, I think, 144 minutes, like, 2 hours and 24 or whatever, which is basically what we watched today. So I don't know if that money Sony gave him was part of the 17 or not, but still relatively inexpensive considering how big in scope this is and how crazy and how ambitious a lot of it is.
The cast.
Yeah, I mean, luckily he got a lot of these cast members like The Rock and so forth like earlier, and then a lot of that, and like Justin Timberlake, I feel, and then a lot like Sarah Michelle Gellar and John Larroquette like after the fact, like they're kind of not doing much, and he's bringing like kind of these other people that he likes. He's just throwing like Curtis Armstrong and Wallace Shawn. Like, okay.
Well, so I have stuff about Wallace Shawn too, but there is, before we get to the trivia and the background of this, there is one crazy credit.
Okay.
Oh.
So the one here is after the credits, a logo appears of a thumbprint over an American flag with the words, "Don't touch me." 5 up, 0 down.
Okay.
All right.
That's in there. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So the background for this movie, there is a lot. I tried to pick the best stuff. So Richard Kelly, writer and director, considers this his proudest accomplishment, calling it, quote, a misunderstood child. He says he tapped on Kiss Me Deadly from 1955, Pulp Fiction, Brazil, and Dr. Strangelove as his inspirations for this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely got like an apocalyptic warning vibe going on to it. There's just like nothing you can do. We're doomed. The end's approaching, and good luck.
How appropriate.
Spend it the best way possible.
I think to Mike's point about the actors either before they broke out or after they whatever, he said he sought out actors he felt had been pigeonholed and wanted to showcase their, quote, undiscovered talents. Okay. So like I said earlier, this is the movie that Dwayne Johnson dropped The Rock. They're like, hey, this guy wants to break out. Nobody's giving him a chance. Let's give him a chance. He said Justin Timberlake, he offered it to him. He's like, I don't understand what this means. I just consider all of this performance art. I don't get it, but I appreciate it.
Well played. Okay.
Wallace Shawn, to your point from earlier, Mike, said he read the script, didn't understand it, but was like, I love Richard Kelly. I love his approach to this. He was very flattered that Richard Kelly wrote the part explicitly for him. Oh. And so he's like, I'll do it. He said he's watched the movie, at some point. He had watched the movie 3 times, still doesn't understand it, finds it incomprehensible, but still appreciates it.
I would be lying if I told you I knew what was going on all the time. Like, I don't understand. I think that is part of that's part of movies. Like, I think he was trying to explain himself as best as possible, and that's the feeling I get. And I feel like I understand him even if I don't understand what's going on. Like, I think performance art, interpreting this more like it came out like a piece of art than a movie per se, isn't exactly like the worst thing to say about it.
To me, it feels like he saw Magnolia and was like, I want to do that, but like good.
Well,
know what I mean?
it's like a
Like,
futuristic version. It's
yes.
almost like a sci-fi, neo-noir, shaggy
Well,
dog,
the
Los
other
Angeles
movie that this
detective
is very
story.
much like, which is a movie near and dear to your heart, even though I don't think you guys have covered it yet, and there's a thing on Comic Book Reader which compares it. This is Megalopolis. Like, this is it's doing
Yeah.
like what Megalopolis tried to do.
that
This
version.
kind of does better, where it's like there's like crazy tech. It's a dystopian future. It's America, but it's not America. And it's kind of like if Magnolia and Megalopolis had a baby. Which, if you describe that movie, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's gonna be my favorite movie." Like that's amazing.
Well, it shouldn't work in the way that like movies I like don't because they don't work. You know what I'm saying by that? Like there's like big bombastic failures that I find intriguing, fun, and entertaining, even if I'm aware that like, oh, this is a bad movie. Like, I don't know, like Supergirl, right? Okay, I think that's a prime example. Like I just find that in immensely charming, even though I'm aware it's completely horrible. But this somehow like doesn't it doesn't bring like the cringe value that big bombs generally seem to tow in their wake, if you understand. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
agree. Yep.
it doesn't feel like a bad movie.
Yep. Yeah. It feels like an art piece. I think that you were right. Like it feels much more like just performance art, not like a movie that really failed.
Like there's definitely too much going on, but that's sort of the genre it is, right? I mean, like its inherent vice also like that is good. Under the Silver Lake, is that another one that comes to mind? Like things like that. Like Kiss Me Deadly is a good example. You know, that's like a 50s or 60s atomic age detective story about the end of the world. And yeah, I don't know. I think his influences are definitely on the screen and there, and he's not trying to hide anything like that. And I don't know. I like the way he merges his images and his audio, and I don't know. It leaves me with a interesting feeling.
I will also say that this movie opens with, I think, 7 minutes of voiceover exposition. So, like, if you get through 7 minutes, like, you kind of know what the movie is going to be.
Kind of.
Like, Justin Timberlake is kind of being like, here's everything you need to know. And then, like, he kind of stops for, like, about 30 seconds and goes another, like, 2 or 3 minutes. It's like, oh, okay. But, like, it lays a lot of stuff out that we are at World War III and blah, blah, blah. And so we'll get to that in a second. But, like, I think if you buy in, you can be on board. But I think it's a very easy movie to like shut out or shut off or turn away from. The same way Megalopolis, the same way that like anything that's just like incredibly ambitious that doesn't really fully make sense. If you're like, I will go along for the ride, I think you'll have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really dense. Like I love Brazil. Like Terry Gilliam's Brazil. I think that's
I
an
love
amazing.
Brazil.
But again, I don't pretend to understand it entirely. You know, there's just like these missing chunks that I think make it for the better. You know, like don't explain yourself entirely. Just drop me into some kind of alternate dimension, Earth. Some just like we're just like one step to the side of where we actually are. Is how this movie feels. Like I'm on Earth, but it's not our Earth. It just something feels like just a bit off about everything, and I think that's played with really well here.
So a little bit more background of the movie in terms of maybe cost savings. I don't know. Moby scored the movie, and he never scores a movie. He never does this, but he loved Donnie Darko so much. He's like, yeah, I'll do this movie. Sure.
That's
absolutely.
sick as fuck. I've seen Moby live. Big fan. It was awesome.
And then 3 bits of longer trivia. So in addition to the feature film, there was going to be a 6-part interactive experience with 3 separate graphic novels, each about 100 pages, each written by Kelly, released over a 6-month period in 2007 leading up to the film's release, with the feature film comprised of the story's final 3 chapters. In addition, the official website would be one of the largest and most elaborate ever designed for feature film. He called the graphic novels, quote, a work in tandem with the website, creating a more epic multimedia experience for those interested in taking the plunge. I don't know if that ever happened, but I do know that, like, after COVID, so like 4 years ago, he announced that developments were underway to expand the film into a franchise with the original cast to return, saying that this movie, which it shows on screen, is chapters 4 through 6, very Star Wars.
Yes.
And there's going to be a prequel project that was going to explore chapters 1 through 3, and do that through animation, apparently, and have additional projects explore events that can take place in 2024, so like kind of current day, I guess.
Oh, I thought
and
the
said
world
that there's
ended.
discussions ongoing as to whether the project should be released as films or in a longer form format. That's hard to say. Long form format through a streaming service, like I guess like a 10-part Netflix
Yeah, sure.
miniseries or something.
Apple TV Plus.
I had the graphic novels. I had them. I read them and I sold them on eBay for like 80 bucks
Do they
like a
help or
year
do
and a
they
half
not
ago.
help?
So it's basically like you see glimpses of it in the opening sequence with the like the drawings and stuff are panels from the comic books, and it's just them coming back from the desert basically, like
Okay.
Boxer and Roland, and you follow their journeys back from like the test site basically, and how they get
Okay.
back to Los Angeles without their visas, and they're smuggled back separately. And they also talk a little bit more about the screenplay. There's actually pages of the screenplay, the power that they talk about
Mm.
in the movie. And from what I remember the most, I only read it once, oh, it had to have been like a decade ago. There was a lot to do with like a giant baby that couldn't go to the bathroom at all. And like that
He
was
says
a,
it in the movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's
yeah.
the baby that's been home from the hospital for like a week, right, or a month or something, and hasn't. But the baby's special. He has not pooped, but he goes because he is special.
Yeah, yeah, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I can't exactly remember the rest of that thread, but they were interesting. I mean, I was always wondered why he didn't re-release them in like a compendium as like, volume
Yeah.
one Southland Tales. And it's weird that he not it's not that weird that he chaptered all of this. Like I think that's totally fine and it's cool and I like those little sort of breaks in the movie and stuff, but like you would think that there's three more after this, and there just can't be because like the world's end. There is no more anything. So it's like kind of funny to think he's like, oh yeah, it's my Star Wars, like, but like Star Wars was able to like do three more movies or whatever, and it's like he's stuck in prequelville now for this
I
stuff.
also don't. I kind of don't care how we got here. Like the more interesting thing is like what's going on now that we're here. So like,
Right.
I want more in this world. I'm happy to have more in this world, but I don't need to know like, oh, this is the political machinations or whatever that like led to the atom bomb being dropped. It's
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't, and I think in the like the extended cut, you get more of from what I understand, I've only seen it twice, but you get enough to be like, oh, the world's padded out a little more than I even need it to be. Like, you don't
Mm.
necessarily need to know why the war started. I think a lot of it is based on it, like it's a starting point is like the our Bush presidency, like
Mm-hmm.
9/11.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is a direct kind of comment and thesis on 9/11 and where he thought it was going to go. I think this movie is really prescient. Like the more I watch it, the more I'm like, this guy saw the future or is like
Yeah.
seeing the
Yep.
future,
Yeah.
and we're getting a step closer to US ident like every fucking day with each
Mm-hmm.
administration. And it's like very chilling. And it makes me sad that he wasn't able to like make a lot more movies in the interim since he did this one.
The only other bit of trivia, then I want to hear what Joe thought about this because you and I have both seen it already, Mike. But this was the first time for Joe. But the other thing, and Joe, we just talked about her. Actually, I don't want to frame it like that. I might bleep that out.
Oh.
Actually, no, I will say because we announced it. Our next Patreon bonus episode is "Cruel Intentions,"
We
starring
just
Sarah
talked
Michelle
about
Gellar.
SMG.
Nice,
So
nice.
her husband, Freddie Prinze Jr., was apparently a script writer for WWE from '08 to '09. Did either of you know that?
No.
What? FPJ?
So Freddie Prinze wrote for WWE for about a year or two. His grandmother, who introduced him to wrestling when he was a child, temporarily stopped talking to Sarah Michelle Gellar after learning she made this film with Dwayne Johnson because she hated The Rock so much for turning heel and joining the corporation,
Amazing.
a stable of villains led by WWE. I love that Freddie Prinze's grandma's like,
I'm so into wrestling.
Fuck your wife.
That guy. Fuck
And
that
she-
guy and fuck your wife about being in a movie with him. Like
She,
how
she
down
turns
bad.
heel on her grandson over the wife and is like, fuck her, fuck this, fuck that. Not that she plays a porn star talking about getting anal
Exactly.
all
I
day
thought that that's
long.
where we were going. I thought that's where we were going, but she's like, no. I don't
Which,
trust
like-
anybody that likes The Rock.
I gotta give these actors like clapping. I'm clapping right now. I don't want
Oh,
to
you don't want
ruin
to do
the
a finger
audio.
twiddle? You don't want to do a finger
Oh,
twiddle
okay,
like
I'm
The
doing
Rock?
this for them because
Okay.
like the amount of just good faith everybody had in this project solely due to the success of Donnie Darko, which just kind of became just this runaway indie hit somehow. I don't know. That movie connects with everybody. It's just that just keeps running through my mind. Like the performances in this movie just all feel like very genuine and honest, and like everyone somehow found their character. Like everyone's distinct. I don't know how the hell he made this movie like the way he did. It's just it feels like a guy who's been making movies for like 15 years at least.
And it feels like everybody bought
in.
in. You're right. You have the feeling that everybody's bought in. Like nobody's like mailing this one in.
I love what some of the actors said. Like, I don't get this, but like I'm into it. And like that's kind of how I feel about it.
I will say maybe it's like somebody who's been making movies for 15 years, but I also think that like Magnolia being, I think, Paul Thomas Anderson's maybe third movie, like he did Hard Eight and then he did Boogie Nights and then that, like feels like only the movie that a cocky young guy would make. Like, oh, I can do this sprawling story. It's like, well, maybe you can't. Like, I think Magnolia is really good. I think Magnolia compared to most of his movies that came after that kind of sucks. Like, I think he got so much better after that. Not really a knock against Magnolia, but just like there are so many other movies of his that I would rather watch than that only someone who's like 30 or whatever and be like, no man, the world's gotta fucking know my story. Like, I'm gonna tell this shit.
Yeah.
I hear
it's like, well,
yeah, I kind of got that about Paul Thomas Anderson. Like, I feel like he's laxed a lot with each movie, and they've gotten looser, and sort of he's able to sort of experiment a bit more. And that movie just felt, I hate to say this, but like pretentious as fuck. You know, it just felt like everything was so ultra important, and the music and the fucking, oh my God, the depression in that, it's just soaked with like trauma and everything. And it's like, fine, you can do that, but it kind of felt like overkill. Except and Tom Cruise, like, you know, acting great and everything. But this feels like it's got like a humility to it somehow. Like a guy who heard something that scared the shit out of him and wasn't supposed to like tell anybody. And, you know, it's trying to tell us something without like yelling it. Without, I don't know exactly how I'm even supposed to explain it, but it just feels like a guy with this movie just feels like it has some kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't feel pretentious in that way to me.
I don't think it's pretentious. I just think it's like, I gotta tell a story about like police corruption and racist cops and all this different stuff, and it's just like, well, okay. Like, I think it works. I'm not knocking.
And this part is just part of the story. It doesn't feel like it's the moral.
Like, it's not John C. Reilly like losing a gun and being like, oh my God, I'm gonna like, I'm whatever. It's just like, no, what if there was a racist cop who, like, we drugged his brother to be him, but also, spoiler alert for the end of the movie, they're the same guy. He went through the wormhole and they're the same guy. Yeah. So he's trying to find himself, man. And, like, well, okay. And then there's, like, also, like, the really racist as fuck John Lovitz. Like, I don't know, there's so much of this. But anyway, before we get too far, Joe, what'd you think of Southland Tales?
This movie is unbelievable to me. It's absolutely batshit insane. I was going to tell you guys that I couldn't really follow the plot, but apparently neither could any of the actors, so that's good, reassuring to me. You don't really need to follow the plot. I think this is a movie that you just strap in and just like go along for the ride. The cast is insane. I think the scene of Justin Timberlake doing the music video for The Killers is so iconic. I never want to watch the video for the things that I have done. I want to watch this version forever.
So Richard Kelly, the director, says that is the heart and soul of the film. He feels like that is the movie.
I watched that, and it hits so hard because there's no musical numbers before that. It just comes like right after he's trying to sell drugs, and it hits like a fucking ton of bricks. Like, it might be the heart and soul of the movie. It's so cool. And to see Justin Timberlake, somebody who is a musician, cover this, like, weird. It's a really weird choice to make him the one that does it. The scene is awesome. There's a lot to love about this movie. I'm definitely going to revisit it. I could see why Mike watched it a billion times.
It's one that, again, so we talked a lot on here about how, like, oh, I'm saving that movie to watch or whatever, but this is one that, like, Mike even told me to watch. I think Bob and, like, a couple people were like, you need to watch. Like, I don't know if you're going to like it, probably will, but it's so crazy you need to watch it.
Yeah, you need to experience it. I watched it,
like, 2 years ago, and I was like, I don't want to watch it again until we cover it, because it's like, I don't want to be, oh, I've seen it 45 times ago really in the weeds. I'm like, no, I'm going to save this until...
I know that feeling, brother. Yeah. Was it worth it? Was it worth the save to rewatch, or do you?
Oh, it's so good because there's things about this, like, I did not remember, like, Amy Poehler and Avon Barksdale are like an improv team or something.
They're like a poetry. They're like rebel poets or something. Yep. Like, what the fuck is that about? To be honest, my mom was just visiting on like a very similar note. She was just visiting, and like a couple years ago, John Lovitz like came into the rental car place, and she was like, she sent me a picture, like, John Lovitz is here.
Hello.
Yeah, and I was like
a car.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I was like, so she was just here. She leaves yesterday, and like she's like, she texted me this morning, like, oh, how are you doing this morning? And I was like, look who the fuck is on my television as I'm watching this at 8 a.m. this morning before work. And I and he comes in the movie like an hour into it. There's no reason why John Lovitz needs to be in this movie, but like he just keeps adding these people and like you're like every person that pops up, you're like, what the fuck is Will Sasso doing in this film with a gun?
Love
like
Sasso. What craziest thing about John Lovitz is like he's fucking intimidating in this movie. Like he's kind of scary. Like
they're
he
all
pulls
playing
that
out
shit
of
off.
character. Yeah, the thing that Joey explained that he like wanted to like unpigeonhole everyone. Everybody's playing counter to what they've played before in my eyes too, which is really fun.
I think Mandy Moore's looks is like she's one of my favorite in this rewatch. I kind of kept a particular eye on her to see what she's doing. And she either has this 75% of the time she has this look on her face, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is like, who the fuck are these people? And then the other like 25% of the time she's like in love with The Rock, which is great. I love her, but like, I just kind of like it's just weird to watch this movie again nowadays after like the more of like the Twitter explosion and the online media stuff, because like that we didn't really have the Twitter stuff back then, so I can understand I'm not exactly like foreseeing the phone stuff, but all of the other stuff feels just like social media, like all the like TV in this universe feels like you're scrolling through an app or something, right?
Yeah.
Like
I
that's
also do wonder
really
like how
interesting.
far away from the way we consume media we actually are, because like the way that it is like there's a big picture on the right and like a channel list on the left, and then you can like watch a little picture in picture as you pick a channel, and then there's also like a bar at the bottom, like the scroll, like the ESPN scroll or the news scroll that has everything. I think it's a bad sign that like I can watch that and understand what's going on. It's not like, oh, that's too much. Like I feel like going to CNN when they first did like the talking heads, and there's a news, and there's a news, and the news, and people are just like, what is this? It's like we can read that, which feels probably like a bad sign.
Also, yeah.
I think it was designed as something to be like, oh, that's a sensory overload thing. Like that's never gonna have, like they'll never pull that off. And yet it's like the guy in Ready Player One who wants to put ads everywhere, and they're like, how are they ever gonna see anything? It's like, no, they'll adapt. They'll be able to. They'll tune it out or whatever. It's like, no, that actually can happen. And
Exactly what happened.
that also leads me to like all the other ad stuff. Like everything has ads everywhere. You see like
Hustler
Golden Palace,
tanks.
Hustler tanks, and Budweiser tanks.
It
and
feels
that is
so
amazing.
real. Especially in this moment where we're trying to like
How else are you going to pay for war, right? Like when you're
Yeah.
exhausted all your fuel and your energy and all this kind of shit. And like we haven't even talked about like the fluid karma stuff with, whatever, how that might have just been a whole science experiment for controlling soldiers in the field with this new drug. Like that's wild. Like that, I don't know how he made all these like connections in his head between like, oh, the drugs, the war,
the
Homeland
money, the
Security.
sponsorship, the overstimulation.
Right? It feels like a fucking Daily Planet like corkboard with all the lines like connected to it, and it's like, oh, it was fucking Lex Luthor the whole time.
Very slight spoiler for Superman, which is great. Go see Superman, by the way. But
I've heard I had no interest in Superman until a lot of people that I don't like hated it, and I was like, man, I should probably go see Superman.
I do love that at the end. Again, slight spoiler, but not really. Supergirl calls him a bitch. I'm just like, okay, we're like in good hands.
Yeah, later, bitch.
So Southland Tales, back to that instead of Superman, which I do want to talk about Superman. I think, Joe, to your thing, like, did it work, like, savoring it? I forgot things like Amy Poehler and Wood Harris, like I mentioned, but also there's just so much going on. I forgot that, like, there's a home video that opens with World War III beginning. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, right. Wow. Okay. Like, I remembered vaguely The Rock as, like, important person who is, like, amnesiac, whatever. And I remembered Sarah Michelle Gellar as porn star or TV, like, sort of broad strokes, but, like, having only seen it once and sort of kind of putting it out of my head. But there's just so much going on. Again, I think to the movie's credit, we're just like, oh, you could watch this maybe again next week and be like, I forgot already half of it, because there's just so much.
Why does The Rock have a Star of David tattoo on his stomach and a Jesus on his back?
He just has every tattoo.
He does have every tattoo.
I think this is when he like premiered his
His sleeve, like his Samoan sleeve,
right,
and they just
yeah.
gave him more to balance or something.
Yeah, because he still has
probably.
the old Brahma bull kind of covered up in
At
him.
one point, I think it's Mandy Moore is like, look, because it feels like she hasn't seen him in a while because he has amnesia. He showed up, disappeared, whatever. And then she's like looking at his chest. He's got like Japanese lettering on a newspaper or like a piece of paper. And she's like, what does this say? And he kind of says something, but it feels like he's not answering her question. And I don't, it's just like, again, big Jesus on the back, Star of David, also just Japanese characters, just like, where's this guy been and why has Mike had like his way with his body?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
The half of them are like Jane's Addiction quotes, which I don't
Are they?
hate. No, but like this movie quotes everything from like Jane's Addiction to Robert Frost, is just
Oh,
like
yeah.
people
Yeah, he
just
does
drop
a
non
lot of
sequiturs.
revelations too. Just like all the like, yeah, there's a lot of background that he's just dropping in like gems for no reason.
I'm a little more. I like the idea of like a tattooed savior, if that's who he's supposed to be, like representing the world's culture through body art is like a really kind of. I like that mess. I don't know if that's what he
It's
was going
cool.
for, but like the entire, every culture tattoos their body one way or the other, right? So to sort of represent the world that way is kind of interesting, especially religion, which I think he's kind of trying to get to some kind of point about. I'm not sure. I mean, he seems pretty religious as a guy. I think he went to Catholic school as a kid, if I'm not mistaken. I could be totally wrong about that, but it just seems like a big important part of the film, but I don't know if he's saying good or bad. I'm not sure if he's like religion good or religion bad because he seems to be saying science, like watch out, like science kind of bad. Science always fucks things up. Like science gets people killed in like time loops and wormholes. But like, religion in this movie seems to be like what everybody went towards in the last shot. Like everybody eventually seemed to like accept Boxer as like some kind of savior, except for maybe Sean William Scott's characters, who I don't know they're supposed to be either. Like,
Well, so okay, so I want to talk about this is again the spoiler for the end of the movie, but the premise of the movie is that there's like a wormhole rift that has opened.
That The Rock is also writing about in his movie because the Earth spins slower.
it seems to have started from him writing the screenplay about that
Does it
happening.
though, or does it start, or did he write the screenplay after he went through the wormhole?
I think he might have
Right.
written the screenplay after it.
So, but the anomaly started because the Earth is slowing. I think that much is true,
Okay,
and something
because
about
I
the
do I
tides.
do love my favorite, maybe my favorite shot in this movie is when he's talking about the 0.0000006. When he's saying all the zeros, we cut to Sarah Michelle Gellar, who is mouthing along the zeros with him, and I'm like, oh, you guys know exactly like how dorky and like specific, not like them as actors, whatever, but like the characters, like her as porn star knows, oh, like this is the crux of our thing, and she's like 000, and just like
Hmm.
mouthing it along. I'm like, it's so good. Also, her later saying, "Are you Deep Throat too?" She's like, "Oh, I'm not in that one." Like, there's so much. Like, she's
Dude,
wonderful in this
her
movie.
line about the future being way more futuristic than they thought it was going to be, like scientists have thought the future is going to be way more futuristic. I was like, that is an amazing line and a great delivery, and that only like in character can be like portrayed right.
I have a question for you guys, and you can decline to answer. On a scale of how many times Mike has watched this movie, would you watch Cock Chuggers 2 more or less than those? Because I think I might watched it more times.
Let's please give it the cockchuggers to colon cockchuggin. Is
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
I want
sorry,
to make sure that I
sorry,
don't.
full title.
I don't want to shortchange that.
Would
Yes.
you watch? Because I think that I would have watched that film more times than Mike watched this film.
Maybe.
It's. I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I also. I mean. I just love like the premise that she was a porn star and like seemingly like really like one of the bigger ones, and then is like trying to go straight, but
Mainstream.
also
She's trying to go
trying to
mainstream.
go straight and mainstream by surrounding herself continually with fellow porn stars. Like
And
all
they're
the
trying to
people-
do The View, essentially.
It's The View, but only porn stars, and they're all
And their takes are
idiots.
incredible.
Yeah.
They
Well,
like
that-
nail it so hard of like what they're talking about. What did she say? Like if you have sex on a plane, but then take the plan B, like as you're going against the time, you're taking the morning before pill, and like there's so much dumb shit like that in this movie that's just delightful.
Well, and I mean, to me, I took it as like, how is this any different than The View? Except that these chicks are super smoking hot and talking about like they're not making their points aren't like, it's all like verbal masturbation, these types of
Yes.
shows, right? It's all
Yes.
that kind of. So who cares who's hosting? Like put a hot porn star there instead of Whoopi Goldberg one day. See what happens. Like society's fine. They're gonna be fine.
The content is really not going to change that much. Like the conversations are still the same stupid conversation. It doesn't matter what the topic is. Like they're not, the view's not more poignant than the porn stars trying to discuss if the morning before pill exists or not. It's the same shit. It's the same schlock.
Okay, we need to talk about the morning before pill. Is that if you have sex on an international flight and then cross the date line and take the morning after pill, it becomes the morning before pill, and they're like, oh whoa, it's like, yeah, I would watch Cock Chuggers too. Cock chugging for sure.
The title of it was so good. They have a DVD copy of it too that they're like amazing. Yeah, the deep throat 2 joke. Are you deep throat 2? No, I wasn't in that one. Nailed it. Beautiful.
Because there is like what I think is like scarily eerily realistic is all the different sort of sects and cells.
Right.
SECTS, not cock chugging 2 sex SEX, but SECTS, where like people are trying to like overthrow the government in specific ways that also like it's just like, yeah, that's just like the news today, right? It's just like these people who have a tape and then there's another tape and they're trying to turn them in or get the right people to give them to the right places or whatever.
Trying to frame people, blah blah blah.
Well, there's that whole
insane.
Yeah, there's that whole like thread in the background about like severed thumbs being stolen off people like on the street so that like radicals can vote the way they want to, and because you have to do like a thumbprint to vote, so people are missing thumbs now and stuff. And like that's Kevin Smith wears one around his neck. If you noticed, he opens up like a box with his thumb and everything. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's just very like even with like we're still talking about Plan B and a woman's body and her right to choose and all that kind of stuff and shit like that. So it's just crazy watching this, being like, yeah, it's supposed to be some kind of like accelerated version of reality, but it's like, no, it's just like the way things are, but we can't tell because we're like self-absorbed, I guess, or we don't see it all.
Speaking of thumbs, I do want to give a shout out to Bai Ling from Crank 2, High Voltage, who is just there to like lick Wallace Shawn's ear and also cut off that one guy's hand because he signed a contract that said that, cutting off a finger, but there's a 6-inch margin for error. Just like, dude, get a better lawyer. Like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. You're the president of Japan. What the fuck were they doing?
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's also going on, and there's an element here with Wallace Shawn where we're suffering an energy crisis because everything has gotten very expensive and hard to come by because it is
because there's all kinds of weird borders now. You can't cross states and shit. Yeah,
and the war in the Middle East with no oil and
true. They shut off the Middle East to us. Yep.
He creates fluid karma, which is like the new form of energy, because he uses the ocean as a perpetual motion machine to power something, although he never explains it. And I wonder if Richard Kelly even knows. I mean, if Richard Kelly figured it out, like he would monetize it.
It feels like super Wi-Fi or something, or hyper Bluetooth, because it says like you build this thing in the ocean and it generates the energy and then it like sends a signal everywhere that powers stuff within a radius.
This was a thing that we talked about in like science, like back in the day when like I was in high school, about like beyond wireless charging. Like what if all your devices were like in your house charging wirelessly at all places, like not on a pad? That like if we can like transmit like power through the air, and we
it's like some Tesla shit. Damn.
Yeah, like a Tesla coil type shit. Yes, exactly.
But also, Joey, like whatever they're doing to generate this energy has like some kind of like waste thing to it that they've injected into soldiers to try and create like mind control or like telepathy on the field, and now that is being used to get high in America like as just like a street drug. Yeah, that's pretty fucking nuts.
But it also leads to one, again, this is a high bar to clear when I'm saying that this is one of the craziest things in the movie, but one of the craziest things in the movie, which is the commercial, which we don't understand that it's a commercial for the car, the Trier Salt Air.
Oh my God, yes.
Where there's just like CGI cars and one
the tow
mounts
hitch.
The other.
The tow hitch extends and tucks underneath.
Well, it's not. I think it's the exhaust. The exhaust becomes a penis and then goes underneath, and then the other exhaust becomes a vagina, and they have sex, and that is how they're selling the Tree Salt Air.
Yeah, like the idea that like only one car needs to be charged to charge your neighbor's car, I think is the point. But like that is Excessive. That's a one way to put it.
Crazy.
It was something
Crazy.
I was not prepared for. When I was describing the weird parts of this movie to Rachel, because she had not seen she watched like the last 15 minutes with me, but she didn't watch any of the previous things. I was like, but I think you need to see the last 15 minutes to see how this goes. And like I was like, oh yeah, there was like CGI of cars fucking at one point. And she's like,
Yep.
why? I'm like, I don't know.
I think that's the first time you see Mandy Moore, and she's got that look on her face that she keeps for most of the movie.
There's a quote that Sarah Michelle Gellar says as Kristen now on her TV show. Once you get on the bang bus, you never get off.
Yeah, great quote. My favorite quote of this movie was, nothing an 8-ball, a porn star, and a tattoo parlor can't handle. And I was
That's
like,
a good one.
relatable. Yeah.
There is also, I mean, again, going back to the, feels relatable that the head of the NSA now is a former beauty queen, and it's just like, that feels like it could be a thing. Like, oh, she's hot. She can run this country, basically.
I also feel like she's somewhat based on Palin before Palin emerged, like
Maybe.
or was just there. I can't quite remember '06 the way I'd like to, but like she definitely had that vibe of like
I
I
can
don't
see
know.
Russia from my house.
Yeah, like a Rubish, someone who just definitely should not be in charge there. Yeah.
She is working US ident, which Mike was sort of mentioning earlier, that they have basically created ways to prevent people from going state to state, and they are moving into California, which has become a purple state because everyone is against the Democratic Party, which that's understandable and believable because we all hate the Democratic Party. Also, still, no matter even if you are a Democrat, we all hate
Yeah,
it.
it's very
One day we
true.
can all agree. There's Proposition 69, wink, about restricting the powers of U.S. ident because they open this new office, which basically they can control everything. There are these snipers sitting on roofs, including
Yeah.
including Justin Timberlake, who just, if they see a gun, they take the person out, which I guess is one way to sort of prevent mass shootings, but also,
Is
It's a
mass
pol-
shootings?
It's a police state now. Like
Yeah.
California is like a experimental police state in a way that like Washington was in Minority Report. It's just like it's gone too far. It's got too out of control. But it's all gonna end anyway. Stroke of midnight. So
But then meanwhile, while this is happening, we have Amy Poehler and Avon Barksdale, Wood Harris, trying to get into character to frame Sean William Scott as a racist cop. And then while they're getting into character in
Which is
facial
incredible.
prosthetics,
The giant noses is fucking
because they can't be
incredible.
recognized by the cameras. You think, they're too famous. Amy Poehler in that scene says, quote, "I can't be a housewife. I like to suck dick," which is just,
Yes.
and then the people watching and listening to like, oh my God, they're so in character. She's so good. It's just like, this is just crazy. But again, while this like police state, Gestapo state, whatever is going on, they're like, also look at these two idiots like in
Yeah.
character as a newly married couple. Her in her wedding dress, I think, right? Are arguing about like how she slept with his brother or his dad or whatever, and it doesn't matter because she can't possibly be a housewife. She likes to suck dick. It's like, okay.
That whole thing is crazy, and then like John Lovitz comes in and like shoots them, but doesn't shoot them. Yeah. A lot of times I like look down to take a note in my phone, and like I look back up and I'm like, "What the fuck is Amy Poehler doing back? I thought she was dead." And I was like, "Nope, she was with John Lovitz somehow too."
Because they
Okay.
have Boxer Santeros, who is The Rock, who is Dwayne Johnson, filming this to expose racist, but maybe not. Like there was a thing that said, he was talking about, he used the N-word,
hard R.
and they said, is it racist? It's like, might just be fascist. I'm not sure if it really transcends into racism. But then actual racist cop John Lovitz shows up, and so instead of Sean William Scott firing blanks, Lovitz shoots a real bullet, and they're like, oh, wow. And so it's very funny to see Lovitz shoot them, and then the guy who's just listening pops the squib.
Mhm. The delay.
Good joke, great joke, comedic relief, top tier.
But then, Joey, what's so weird is later on, well, maybe it's not weird. I think it's like the design of the film, and you were kind of mentioning it before about all the factions, is like John Lovitz is in cahoots with Sherry O'Terry, who you thought was doing one thing and ends up doing another. They're trying to do another thing by making their own tape as opposed to the sex tape. And that tape gets like caught up in some kind of switcheroo, but like everybody is in league with everybody else in a way that they're like negating each other's progress or something like
Yes,
that at times,
yeah.
like they're just getting in each other's way a lot of the time, I feel, trying to accomplish things. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was pretty funny. It's like later on, you just see John Lovitz come over to Sherry O'Terry's house, and he's like, "You want to fucking watch a movie?" I'm like, "What are they doing together? Like, why is he giving her the tape about like the shooting?" And like, oh, well, he was probably told to like, everyone had their own instructions and they only knew what they were supposed to know.
They're all playing their own game. Yep.
Because then you find out like there's that really fun scene, I think, like the confrontation scene where they're all at the mansion and like Mandy Moore's like, I'm pregnant and everything, and then the Baron's like, yeah, but you're pregnant with Paul's kid and all this, and like all these things are flying around the room, and like everybody's lying to everybody else, but they're all mad at each other for not telling them the truth. Like there's just something about like that scene to me convinces me of like, oh yeah, the Earth is really slowing down every day, and the tides are fucked up, and it's driving them insane because like they just can't communicate or something. I don't know.
Because the truth of this is, as explained by Kevin Smith toward the end of the movie, a rift opened and Boxer walked through it, but before he did, his future self, 69 minutes into the future, appeared, and that's who he is now and who we've been following all movie long. And the original one who walked through was also found, but he was like charred and killed and just like lives in a box, like a coffin somewhere. Yeah. And we also get that there's the two different Sean William Scotts. Like, I think the movie does make sense in terms of when you go through the rift, you have amnesia, because they both have amnesia. Both Boxer and Roland don't remember where they came from. But I also think there's so much going on that you don't remember or realize, oh, these guys maybe are the same. Like, maybe...
that's what's kind of frustrating is like there's a way to tell this story very clearly, and I don't know if he chose to be cryptic because it's just fun, or that's how just the way he can get it out. But like, it's so easy to just be like, these guys drove through a portal, they got duplicated, and if they touch each other, the world's gonna end because you can't have more than one person in existence. You can't have more than one of the same person in existence at the same time, right? And they've just duplicated this guy, so they have to track him down before he ends the world, But like the movie doesn't say that ever really until like the last 5 minutes.
Well, I think it's like leaning into the like, well, that about time travel and paradoxes, right? Like you can't have two people at the same time. It's like you already know that. We don't need to spend 4 seconds explaining that. We're just going to assume that you know that. But then when the Sean's, plural, William Scott, shake hands or hold hands or whatever, and the van they're in starts levitating.
Oh, is that like what happened? I didn't know why the ice cream truck was levitating. I must have looked down for 0.2
like
seconds.
Time warp or whatever, like a loophole, wormhole, whatever, where they are doing something that should not be possible. So they lift up, and the guy on top fires a rocket, killing everybody in that entire thing. End of movie? ?
The only thing that I wish is that like gangster that shoots the rocket, if he was Franco as Alien from Spring Breakers. Like that's like one of the only like character adjustments I would do in this movie. I'm like that seems like a perfect job for Franco. Like he would be into this movie too. Like if he would have been like coming up like at this time, he could have played that so well.
I'm surprised that Franco Richard Coe's only made 3 movies, but like I feel like Franco would work with he does feel like right in line with this kind of vision.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I wish then again, I was going to say, I wish we saw another drug trip, but the one of Justin Timberlake's is so impactful, and it is one of, like, my favorite movie moments in the last, like, 20 years, so, like, it's just so amazing. And from what I understand, I don't know if this is anywhere in the notes, but I remember hearing Richard Kelly talk about this way back in time, and he really didn't have a lot of time to shoot this. There's, like, 1-2 takes max, and if you watch it, there's a lot of long takes, like a lot of long tracking shots, a lot of gorgeous tracking shots too.
Well, I was thinking about that, and I think there's a really smart thing that like he maybe had not done a ton of movies, but he had done a ton of music videos, and he knows what this is.
It reminds me of like in Donnie Darko, the opening when they go to school and they do that whole long tracking shot through the hallways to Tears for Fears and everything. Yeah, could see that.
So Justin Timberlake, maybe not a traditional actor by this point, but
well-versed
had
in
lip
music
synced and knows how to hit marks and like walk through things and time
dance
things to a beat.
Yeah.
Also, toward the end of the movie, we have Rebecca Del Rio, who just died like in the last month, R.I.P., sing the national anthem first in Spanish and then in English, and I was just like, boy, oh boy, if there's one thing this movie got wrong in terms of like where conservatives people take over, like we're getting less Spanish, not more Spanish, but
much
also
less.
People who don't know her, she is the Silencio singer in Mulholland Drive.
Yes.
But it's just like wild to hear her sing the national anthem in Spanish, and people are like grooving to it. It's just like, well, you got a lot of things right, unfortunately, but that one, not quite.
Okay, one storyline that we haven't talked about yet is the woman that works in UINet or
US
what's
ident,
it?
yeah.
US ident office, and she's on the poop cam.
Oh, right. Yeah. Darla or something.
Yeah, so she watches the poop cam of a bunch of toilets in LAX.
Darla.
Yep.
Yeah.
But she also has gotten somehow a pre-release copy of The Rock's movie.
Well, they explain how. Krista put it up on our website.
Oh yeah,
This
okay.
this screenplay seems like a real like what's the fucking book? Oh my God, now I can't remember.
I
but,
was
like,
thinking something McBooger Balls from South Park. Remember when Butters writes the Scrody McBooger Balls or whatever?
it just seems haunted or something. Like everyone that reads it gets like possessed by it or something. You know, like I wish we had a couple more characters that we find out like had read the screenplay and were
Start like a
assuming,
cult.
or we're like assuming roles of the movie instead of be like what's up with that guy with the mohawk that hung out
Yeah.
with Will Sasso a little bit. Like
No
tell-
idea.
you know, like,
She gets really into the storyline and she imagines herself as like the main female character. So she starts like stalking The Rock, and then she confronts him on the beach and tells
Yes.
him to drop trowel, that she says, end quote, if you don't let me suck your dick, I'm gonna kill myself. And I was like, that's something I've never heard in a movie before, but that's awesome.
And he looks like he's
weird.
about to do it, too.
I think it was in
He's just like,
Cockchuggers
well,
1, but I'm not sure.
It was cocksuckers.
and then when she pulls the gun on him, then Justin Timberlake, I think,
Yeah,
That's when they
blows her
start a
away.
shootout of
blows
civilians on
her
the
away.
Yeah, shootout on the beach.
Because there's also, like, I don't think we've talked enough about Boxer Centauros, The Rock. He does a thing, one of the things I did remember is a thing he does where he holds his one hand steady and goes like this.
Yeah,
That's what I
the
said.
twiddling.
Yeah, finger twiddle.
It's hypnotizing.
It's so not The
good,
Rock.
It's a good choice. Like it just, I don't know. It adds some kind of like anxiety to to me and to the character.
Agreed.
Yeah, like I don't know. You can sense
Makes him
he's
human.
nervous. Yeah, and it feels like he's starting to do it when he gets nervous or
Yep. Yeah.
or
When he's in a
unsure of
tense
himself.
situation.
It's second only to The Rock walking down Venice Beach drinking a 6-pack of beer. Like, just buy the 6-pack. That was great, just dropping it on his head.
I do think at the end it's worth talking about where when they're on that like blimp or whatever you would
Zeppelin?
call it.
The Mega Zeppelin.
So Krista and her fellow porn stars are dancing on stage behind like gas masks, like kabuki masks with their gas masks or whatever, and they're doing this sort of like beautiful dance. Like they're not sexualized at all. And then Mandy Moore comes out and she and Sarah Michelle Gellar
This is so
both
weird.
kind of fight over The Rock. And then they realize he's about to die. We're all about to die, so we might as well dance together.
He puts them
Yeah.
together, but yeah.
It's interpretive dance, right? Or it's symbolic. Like I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. Like it reminded me of the show Legion, where they would have these huge superhero battles, but they would be done as dance battles in like season 2 and 3. So like it would just be like a choreographed, like something out of you know, West Side Story. But in reality, they're having like this intense mental battle on like the psychic plane. So this kind of just felt almost like that in the sense where it's like it's a dance fight or something, and now we're making up and like we're a throuple now.
It's really good. There's also, you know, in terms of my musical taste, Radiohead's Planet Telex is in this movie.
So much good music.
The song Black
So
Eyed by
much good
Muse is in
music.
this movie. Like
Wave
it's
of Mutilation in this
It's
movie.
great.
Oh,
Cover
man.
of that. Also, maybe something by Led Zeppelin. Perhaps if the sponsor had anything to do with it. I don't know.
Good stuff, Chris. We got a Highlander in here. Christopher Lambert's in here.
Oh, we also have. I just watched. I forgot that she was in here, but we have from Poltergeist Zelda Rubinstein
Yes.
as one of Wallace Shawn's like cronies.
There's fucking Janine Garofalo in the back of this movie. Like,
Oh,
what
so
the fu-
she's in the extended cut. Way more. Her and Kevin Smith.
Okay.
Their storyline is like that. I remember being way more in the other
Okay.
version. Yeah, and things are sort of rearranged in a way. Like I remember the guy getting his hand chopped off within like the first 10 minutes, not the first hour.
Okay.
So stuff is shuffled. The reason I didn't like it as much, I think, is because I'm just so used to watching this version, and I didn't. They did something towards the end when they're boarding the Zeppelin, which is one of my favorite moments. It's like it's like this. You go from like this like really sort of shoddy animated like opening of like how to how to proceed, you know, oh, here's the walkway, this and that. And then it turns into like an amazing tracking shot of the Rock like walking through the Zeppelin. And I remember them sort of like fucking with that in the other version where it just didn't like connect with me as well. I was like, oh, that was one of my favorite moments, and now it just kind of feels off.
Makes sense.
And how about The Rock's hair?
Like a tight buzz.
Not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't distracting at all. Like I thought it might be. Like it just like, yeah, he had hair.
There's also his character name in the screenplay is Jericho Kane, which is also, I think, Arnold's name in End of Days,
Oh, really?
Interesting.
which, Joe, I think you covered on John's podcast, because that was one of the two, like, end of the world Y2K movies. I think you covered that, maybe not.
Maybe. I don't remember.
But it's just like, that's a weird, because Jericho Kane is a great name, but it's also like, don't name, I don't know,
So is Boctor Santeros, to be honest.
Boxer Santeros.
Well, I'm looking at like the cast list now. So Amy Poehler plays Veronica Mung, and Christopher Lambert plays Walter Mung. They were siblings in this movie, and we never knew it.
Siblings are father-daughter.
Oh, maybe father-daughter. Yeah, but like Krista Now, great name.
Well, she's actually Krista Karpowski, also known as Krista Now. Yeah.
Kristen now slaps, though. That's a great name.
But also, like, she is Platinum Wow. Like, or Wow Platinum.
Yes,
She is
good
Aubrey
point.
Plaza. Like, she is...
You're right, yeah.
Like, that's why I think, whether he admits it or not, I mean, I know that it took Megalopolis, we talked about that, like, 30 years to get written, but, like, at some point, Francis Ford Coppola saw this movie, was just like,
Oh,
I got an idea.
he definitely saw this movie. I think he's definitely aware of Donnie Darko and this, you know, Richard Kelly, and yeah, for sure. Just as just like a young indie filmmaker, I'm sure that they've approached each other at some point. But
Well, it's like, he's only got 3 movies, right? Like, you can watch all of his stuff in, like, essentially an afternoon.
I don't quite remember the box that well. It's based off like an Outer Limits episode. But I remember it looking gorgeous, and you know, I like the actors in it, so I would rewatch that one day for
I've
sure.
been meaning to rewatch all of his stuff, and so now that we broke the seal on that for this, I might do the others.
Yeah, they did Donnie Darko on The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs last year. That was a
boy.
great episode. Yeah.
I have one other note, I think, and it is a quote, "I'm a pimp, and pimps never commit suicide."
Yeah. That was a really, really good quote. And I like that it comes back at the very last line, too.
I remember that from the trailer. I remember this trailer. I know we're going to get into the trailer, but I remember when this trailer dropped, my mind was blown because I was at Ramapo at the time, Joey, like studying movies, trying to do films, and this just like expanded my brain as like possibilities. I was like, oh, I got to try and do way more than what I'm trying to do if I'm going to compete with this guy someday. Or
Joe, do you have other notes, other thoughts? Because I feel like this is a movie we could talk about forever, but I also feel like, importantly, it is a movie you should see.
The goofy rollerblades are insane and amazing. I don't know why they picked these stupid two-wheeled slanted rollerblades, but they do.
I think they explain at one point as they're skating away, they're like, it was a really good idea to do these because of blah, 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 but it's just like, I don't know, like, I'm not
No,
thinking
but they just
about
look
the logic.
insane on film, and like, yes, whatever he says in the movie doesn't matter. It's just that they look bonkers on film, and having Amy Poehler do them badly, like with essentially no practice, because that's what it looks like, is top tier.
Mike, other thoughts, other notes?
I mean, I think you know, it's really hard to, like, you can just keep going on about this. We have to call it at some point, but I mean, I think the main point of this episode was to get people enthusiastic about checking it out, you know, like
You should watch it, yeah.
Yeah, like we're 3 people who really enjoyed it, and could go on, and I think we brought up a lot of fun stuff. I feel like just scratched the surface. This is like a movie I feel like you could take seriously or not. You know, you could watch it and be like, oh, you could kind of goof on it if you want to. That's fine. It's still good. You could still make it through. It's not like one of those bad movies. If you think it's a bad movie, it's not like an unwatchable bad, like, oh, how am I going to get through this? No, there's like,
It's not painful at all.
yeah, there's really, I mean, you might not be able to get through it in the sense of like, oh, this, what's going on? The story, I don't understand this and that. I don't know if that's intentional. It doesn't bother me, but like, there's plenty of visual stimulation and audio stimulation, and like his marriage again of sound and sight is just like, I wish he makes it. I hope he makes another movie soon. Yeah, it's just, it's unlike a lot of stuff out there, so it's definitely worth checking out. Yeah, that's not the last time I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it a lot.
I'm gonna watch it again.
I'm gonna show it to my new girlfriend, see if she sticks around.
Wait, hold on. New girlfriend?
Oh shit! And Jeff,
Mike, are you hard launching her on the podcast? Last I heard on Elvis Pod, which we didn't even talk about on the Elvis podcast, but you said it was going to be your second date, so things have gone well.
yeah, they're going pretty well. I thought I'd bury the lead and
Let's talk about her here on the
end
front
on
of
a
the
high note.
paywall. Let's tell us about her.
Yeah, I don't know. She's really cool. We've spent like almost every day together since we met,
Cool.
and I'm bringing her to my sister-in-law's birthday party this weekend
Ooh.
to
Good luck.
meet everybody. Yeah, and I don't know.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's feels really good. So
Cool.
That's awesome, brother.
Well, let's
probably
keep those-
probably coming to the wedding, Joey.
Well, you kind of have to run that by me. You can't just say that, but
Well, I'm gonna RSVP +1.
well, you don't have a +1 at the moment because
Oh, okay, never mind.
there was no girlfriend.
Oh, apologies then. I didn't.
Let's just keep those good feelings going though, and let's watch the trailer.
I don't know how things work.
Southland Tales 2006 trailer number 1, movie clips, classic trailers posted 5 years ago, 2 minutes 35 seconds. Let me know when you guys have it queued up and we can watch it.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm ready when you guys are.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Starting with the same home video that the movie starts with.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you the story of the journey
A little voiceover.
taken.
Apparently, also Justin Timberlake had to completely redo all of his lines, or maybe all the voiceover lines, because Richard Kelly was like, "Oh no, the tone is off."
One of the very few movies with just constant voiceover.
Yeah, this trailer's insane.
These are the sordid tales of how it all came crashing down.
feels so LA, and I've never even been there.
Oh, really? Yeah, they're nailing it.
Los Angeles crime saga.
And you're researching your role?
Yes, it takes place in the near future.
Scientists are saying the future is going to be far more futuristic than they originally predicted.
She's
Ooh,
such
so
a
good.
babe. She's such a babe.
The Rock looks good. He's nice and lean.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
Yes.
They're watching.
Oh, this trailer escalates really well.
Yeah, it does.
I do feel like if I watch this trailer, I'd be like, I need to see this movie. I need to seek this movie out.
Mr. Centauros, the future is just like you imagine.
It's got like a great amount of like teasing to it.
Yes.
Someone must be hiding it. It's like the nervous breakdown of the century.
Nothing that a killer, a porn star, and a tattoo parlor can't handle.
There's your line, Joe.
Amen. Oh,
yeah,
she says a
also, like,
killer
the
in the trailer, not an
drugs.
8-ball. Yeah.
Or like the delayed mirror thing was such a weird effect.
I'm a pimp, and pimps don't commit suicide.
Oh,
Yep.
all the big lines.
Yeah.
Oh, they showed the big explosion at the end. I mean, you don't know the context for it, but
This movie sells, I mean, this trailer sells it hard and well. I love this song too.
oh, there was the quick shot of the car sex scene.
Yeah.
And again, not people having sex in the car, but cars having sex with one another.
I love that shot of the three girls' heads when they're screaming after Lovitz gets shot.
There'd be a lot less violence in the world if everyone just got a little more cardio.
Go for a run.
Good stuff. Music by Moby.
Amen.
All right, before we play the Letterboxd game, I do want to give a shout out to our patrons. We do have a Patreon page, toofast2forever.com. Shout out to Alex Ellen and Justin Kleiman, Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber Party, Wes Hampton, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke, Hayden Roddy Donato, Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski, Nate Milton of the Kings of Sport, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, Mike Galler, Josh Buckley of Whole Lot of
Yep.
Wolves, Michael Moser, Christian Larson, Tara Newman, Aaron Willows, Natalie Absolute, Randy Carter, Josh Gularm, Alex Walsh, Jack Haley, and Jessica Collins, a.k.a.
Montez.
If you want to support us and get your name on that list, if you want to hear our episode about Cruel Intentions, toofast2forever.com. Even $1 a month gets you in the door and gets you access to just about everything.
If you're Sarah Michelle Gellar and you want to join the show and then marry me, right in.
She's still
All
married
right,
to Freddie
Freddie
Family.
Prinze. Yeah. That's he did married to that's a Jedi and a Night Sister, right? Or something like that. Like one's a good Jedi, one's an evil Sith on Star Wars
Oh.
in Star Wars Rebels.
All right, let's play the Letterboxd game. So, for reference sake, Mad Max Fury Road has been seen by 2.6 million people.
Oh, this
Southland
is so
Tales,
fucking hard.
directed by Richard Kelly. Tagline: Have a nice apocalypse. Starring Dwayne Johnson, Sean William Scott, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Mandy Moore, Justin Timberlake, Miranda Richardson, Wallace Shawn, Bai Ling. Has been seen by how many people?
this should be like a bajillion because of the cast, but it didn't make any money, and I don't know anybody that
No one
really
knows of this
rails
movie,
for
Joe.
it. Yeah.
Nobody knows this exists.
Let me start at. I was originally going to start at 80,000. I think I'll start at 80,000.
80. I was gonna go 25.
25,000 and 80,000 are the guesses.
Yes.
In between.
30. Mike might have talked me down. I'll go 30.
I'm going up a little. I'm gonna say like 46.
Now you're both too low, so between 46 and 80, one more guess.
Give me 66, Mario Lemieux.
I'll go with 55.
I'm Googling famous people who wear this number. A famous Steeler wore this number, Jack Lambert. Do you know Jack Lambert's number?
52?
Nope.
53.
58.
Oh, I was close.
58,000. Average rating of a 3.1. Most common a 4, then a 3, then a 5, then a 2, then a 3.5, then a 2.5, then a 1, then a 4.5. It's just like a wild thing.
Where the hell have I thought people straight up fucking hated this movie. Like I didn't know.
Letterboxd is where the people who love this movie go
Super
on Letterboxd.
polarizing, yeah.
Whoa, wow.
This is a letterbox. This feels like a letterbox gem. It feels like a movie letterbox
That's my
would
peoples.
love.
That's my people. If you love this, you love Brazil.
Don't make them your people.
No, I'm just the people that
not
like this
Letterboxd
movie.
people.
No, not Letterboxd.
Okay,
Just the people that like this movie.
Joe, remember how much Brian hates Letterboxd people? Mike can be the opposite. He can be like, these are my people. And that's why the banter on Uncle Francis's Wine Cellar, every single episode we hear these days, people love it because they have this nothing in common between the two of them on Letterboxd.
Odd couple. The odd couple themselves.
You know, it must be hard being a father.
The way they're on lap 16 of Megalopolis, they just keep talking about it over and over again. How many of those 58,000 people have this in their top 4 favorite films of all time?
I bet people that love it fucking love it.
It might have been in my top 4 at one point. Damn.
I will tell you right now, though, just to say, none of my friends have it in their top 4 favorite films, which, again, makes me question whether these are actually my friends at all.
Nice. Out of 55,000 people, Jesus, I don't know, 150 people maybe?
I was going to go like 125, Mike. I think that was a good place to start. Yeah.
You are both too low.
Ooh, okay.
Damn, okay.
375.
I think it's 225.
Both too low?
Wow, still low.
Wow.
Okay, 650.
That's
I don't know
insane.
why I have to be like rounding nice and even like that, but
880.
672. 672
so close,
people
close again. Close
have
on
this in their
both.
top 4 favorite
That's an
films
insane
of
number.
all time.
That's an
Oh,
insane
man.
number for how many people have seen this.
I-
yeah.
My
Picked
faith
out
in
two.
things are like better after hearing that. Like I'm so happy.
Picked out 2. We're going to go to, first off, Lucy at 50,000 Beers on Letterboxd.
Good name. Excellent name.
Perhaps the most culturally astute movie of the 2000s, a ham-fisted clairvoyance that I can't help but feel giddy about. Reminds me of how vapid, ugly, and uncreative Christopher Nolan really is, winky face.
Wow.
Oh, good
If
hit.
only this became the format for 2010's, quote, producer films, 5 stars.
I think, is that a jab at Coppola there? If only this is 2025 producer films were like, you know, if only this was like...
She watched it 4 years ago. This is well before Megalopolis.
I'm sorry.
So I don't know.
Maybe it's just in context, it feels that way now.
And then Aid Mount Soul, AIDEMTSOL, said, I like when movies got a music video in them. 5 stars.
Good review. Yeah.
So Lucy's top 4 favorite films. Number 2 is Southland Tales. Number 1 is a movie that I said this basically is, but better.
Magnolia.
Yep. Number 3 is a movie that I mentioned that the singer in this movie is also in.
So, the Justin Timberlake's in?
The singer in this movie.
Oh, Mandy Moore.
The singer in this movie.
Yeah, there is multiple. That's a good job, Mike.
The singer, the person who sings in this movie.
The one that sings the national anthem, Mike. I don't know who it is.
Blue,
though.
the David Lynch movie he mentioned, Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland Drive, yeah.
Mulholland Drive. And number 4 is the first film of an A24 darling who has now made 2 films, both of a type for Gen Z, very online, very internet, very creepy pasta, this first movie.
Very creepy pasta.
Came out in 2021. We're going to do the other one because this is a pretty easy one. It's a movie that a lot of people loved. I was not crazy about, but people loved. I really liked this person's second film that came out a year or so ago.
Yikes. Not in my league.
Genre is horror, drama.
And it's an A24 movie?
I think
two
A24...
movies.
Did they release it or who released it? I have it on Blu-ray. Who put it out? A24 did the second film. The first one's not A24.
It's not... is it...
I don't know that you're... Mike, I will say, as a hint, the title is very similar to an Elvis film title.
Oh, that's a Mike hint.
Damn, I was going to say, like, Get Out. Whoops. That's where my brain was starting to go.
Just like Stay Away Joe. No. This is the Elvis movie is one that takes place in Seattle.
Oh, okay. So it happened somehow, somewhere, right? Instead of the World's Fair.
What's the title of that movie, Mike?
It happened at the World's Fair, right? That's the Seattle one?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what title recently is It Happened? It happened... Shit. I need a lifeline. Call a
What is
friend.
it? I'm not going to help. So.
I will tell you that you are getting rid of the wrong part of the movie title. It didn't happen somewhere. We're all going to the World's Fair.
That's the title of the movie?
Yeah, the woman, or the person, I think they're
that one.
non-binary, Jane Schoenbrunn, who made I Saw the TV Glow. Their first movie was We're All Going to the World's Fair, about this like 14-year-old girl who sat in her room and did this like creepypasta thing and freaked herself out. And like very low budget, very good.
There's a new sort of creepypasta-esque thing coming out. You guys, A24 is doing the Backrooms movie. I'm very excited about that.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, go online and search Backrooms, and I watch that shit for hours sometimes.
We're going to do the other...
I've watched plenty of backroom casting couch movies.
And also
Cockchuggers 3.
Cockchugger 2,
He's casting part 3.
Aid Mount Soul, number 2 favorite film is Southland Tales. Number 3, Joe, is a movie you watch every New Year's.
Strange Days.
Number 4 is a movie that is basically a feature-length music video starring some of your favorite 90s rappers.
CB4?
Oh, good one. Mike and I were just talking about CB4 the other day.
I would imagine this is a movie you love, Joe. I saw it once. I haven't seen it.
Is it Killa Season, which is that's my sleeper favorite rap
No.
movie.
Who the Man with Dr. Dre and Ed
Belly.
Lover? Belly.
There are at least 4 pretty prominent rappers in this. This movie also came out in the 90s.
Not Exit Wounds.
And it's basically a music
Although
video?
the person in Exit Wounds is also in this movie.
Okay, so something with DMX, Mike, with 4 other rappers.
Oh my gosh.
What else is DMX in besides Exit Wounds? That's the only thing I think.
He co-stars in this with Nas.
Did you say Belly? Wasn't he in Belly? I thought
Belly.
that was-
I said Belly. I
He
said
did
Belly
say
like
it.
5
He
minutes
did-
ago.
Well, then you got it right. Number
Thank
1
you.
is an A24 movie. Aid Mount Soul, I will just say, this becomes the greatest movie ever made if you hate the Celtics.
Oh, Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems, Southland Tales,
Perfect.
Strange Days, and Belly.
God.
That's a good lineup. That's a pretty good lineup. to
Uncut
be
Gems
honest.
is that I consider that a fucking horror film. That thing gets me. Oh my god.
What is it? Does it tickle your anxiety?
Dude, it makes me want
It's
to.
so stressful.
I think I had to stop it halfway because I thought I was gonna like throw up. I went into the bathroom. I was like, ugh. and then what did I do? I went back in the room and watched the rest of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there the whole time like, oh my god.
Unlike Cats, which Mike was like, I need to leave. I'm like, you're not leaving Cats. We're watching Cats. You're never going to see another movie like Cats. You cannot walk out. And he's like, okay.
Joey, I think of that often. I think of you often. Not necessarily like calling me a pussy or anything, but I have you in my head sometimes when I'm watching these movies and I'm just like, I can't, but I must kind of situation.
Yeah.
But like, I'll just pause it. I'll go to the bathroom. I'll take a breath, but then I'll always finish it.
You're welcome.
That's a positive thing. I hope it came across as a good thing.
It
It
did
did.
come as part of
Okay,
It's like Joey gives you some motivation to be like, you can get through this, bud. If you saw Cats, you can watch this.
Yeah, like this weird movie angel on my shoulder sometimes. Sometimes he's a devil, sometimes he's an angel.
Well, Mike, you're welcome for that, and thank you for joining us to talk about Southland
thank you,
Tales.
brother.
Thank
What
you.
out there? Is there anything going on other than your new girlfriend, which is all the rage?
Go get a tattoo from Mike. Go get a tattoo from Mike.
What
if you're
do
ever
you
in
want
New
to plug?
Jersey.
What should people need to know? What should they know about you?
Man, everything is pretty much like on hiatus at the moment as far as podcasting goes. Go back and if I get some numbers up for a third time's a charm, I'll bring it back. It's just like I just felt like
Mike, you and I are currently doing an active podcast, and you're saying everything's on hiatus.
So catch Joey and I on VivoPod Vegas. We only have one episode left, kind of. That's why I think in my brain it's like we're almost done with that too. Like
You're at the
everything's
finish
kind of
line, yeah.
sort of. Well, we have some plans to go, but that show, Joey, like I love doing that. That show is so much fun to talk to you about Elvis movies. I love watching Elvis movies. Like there's something new in every one, like something you're only going to see in an Elvis film. I love Joey's research on that. We play the tagline game a lot. I hate all the Elvis taglines. But come check that out. One more to go.
Pitch your Instagram. Pitch your tattoo Instagram. Come on, Mike.
You could go to at Mike Skin Illustrations and check out my art. If you're in the area, you can seek me out and come get some skin art or get a tattoo or something like that. Take it from Joe too.
Hey, man, they see all mine in the Discord. I post them all when I get them.
And Monsters That Made Us is coming back. We're figuring that out. This, don't take my word for it. We're trying to do the episodes live on YouTube this season. Trying to figure out a different kind of format with that. So like what we would do is basically like in the middle of the month, we're thinking about recording one night live and then release it the last Friday of every month as a podcast. So we're just still trying to figure that out. I just thought I'd drop that in as like some interesting behind the scenes things that are being talked about right now. But yeah.
Joe, our next episode is Life in the Fast Lane. The episode after that is F9. Between then is the bonus episode of Cruel Intentions. If you want even more Sarah Michelle Gellar, like we mentioned, like we teased.
I definitely do.
TooFast2Forever.com. But once again, Mike, thank you for joining. And for all things
thank you.
Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFast2Forever, or at TooFast2Forever on all the socials. Email us, family@cageclub.me. We'll read it next week. Check out our Patreon page at toofast2forever.com and our store at cageclub.me/shop. And come back next week for Life in the Fast Lane, number 52. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too.
And I'm Mike Manzi.
And we will tell you all about it
when we see you again.